All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring a concept that's both ancient and, frankly, incredibly powerful. This idea of a dormant energy that spiritual masters say is coiled inside every single one of us, just waiting for the right moment to awaken. This is the unseen fire. This is Kundalini.
But before we get into the definitions and all that, just take a second with this question. Seriously, have you ever had that feeling? That quiet but very real sense of some untapped potential, something deep down that's just buzzing? Well, that feeling is exactly where our whole exploration begins.
So let's get right to the heart of it. What exactly is this primal force? In this first part, we're going to break down what Kundalini energy truly is, using the language of the mystics who first mapped out this incredible inner world.
Okay, so at its core, Kundalini is our life force. It's the raw, creative energy of the universe, but concentrated right inside of us. The ancient yogis had this amazing way of picturing it as Shakti, the divine feminine power in the form of a serpent, coiled up and sleeping at the base of the spine. And look, this isn't just some pretty metaphor. It's seen as a tangible, physical energy flowing through our nervous system.
And the sheer potential of this energy, it's honestly staggering. The texts don't talk about it like a little energy boost. No, they call it an untapped reservoir, a treasure trove of everything we're searching for. Bliss, enlightenment, a real connection to everything. The idea is that while it's sleeping, we're only using a tiny, tiny fraction of who we could be.
And this is where the stakes get really high. According to the great teacher Paramahansa Yogananda, as long as this energy is dormant, we're basically stuck in what he calls Maya, the grand illusion. It's like we're all in a collective dream, thinking it's real. So awakening Kundalini isn't just about personal development. It's about waking up from the dream and finally seeing reality as it truly is. Okay, so that naturally brings us to a huge question. If this power is so profound, why would you even want to awaken it? And, maybe more importantly, how in the world do you prepare for a shift that massive?
Well, the promise, if it's done safely, is just immense. I mean, look at this. The benefits go so far beyond the physical. We're talking about unlocking entirely new senses, a supercharged intuition, a direct feeling of being connected to all of life, faster healing, and just this deep, unshakable sense of joy and purpose. It's like going from seeing the world in black and white to seeing it in the most vibrant color imaginable.
But, and this is a huge but, here comes the warning. The sources are crystal clear on this. Trying to force this energy to awaken before you're ready is seriously dangerous. There's this fantastic analogy one teacher uses. All of our unresolved emotional stuff, our traumas, our fears, our anger, it's like having a bunch of kinks in a garden hose. Now, what happens when you blast a fire hydrant's worth of water through a kinked-up hose? It doesn't flow, it whips around chaotically and violently.
So how do you get the kinks out of the hose? Well, Paramahansa Yogananda laid out a very specific, very safe path. First, you use breath control or pranayama to balance the energy you already have. Second, you practice deep meditation, like Kriya Yoga, to learn how to move your awareness beyond just your physical body. And third, and this is absolutely key, is Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. It's about letting go of your ego's desire for power and just surrendering to something bigger than yourself.
This whole focus on preparation leads us to a major fork in the road, because the awakening itself can go one of two very, very different ways. It can be a journey into total liberation, or it can be a complete disaster. It all comes down to the state of the person it's happening to. And you can see that contrast right here, side by side. For the person who's done the work, the experience is all about deep peace, this feeling of universal love, an incredible expansion of awareness. But for the unprepared, well, that same surge of energy can feel like intense anxiety, total mental confusion, even physical spasms, and the feeling of being completely overloaded by everything.
You know, the sources share this incredibly powerful, almost scary story. A disciple of Yogananda's was so impatient for a spiritual breakthrough that he used forceful techniques to awaken his Kundalini. He came running to his master all excited, saying, "I see light everywhere." But then he said, "My body, it's trembling and I feel like I'm losing myself." He lit the fire, but he had absolutely no way to contain the flames.
And Yogananda's advice to him really gets to the heart of this entire process. The lesson is this: don't chase the power. Don't go looking for cool spiritual experiences to feed your ego. Instead, seek a genuine connection to the divine, to consciousness itself. When your intention is pure, the energy is said to rise safely and naturally, almost like an act of grace. So that brings us to the final destination. If your intention is pure and you follow the path, where does it all lead? What's the ultimate goal? What happens when that coiled serpent finally reaches the top of the head? Well, it's not like flipping a switch. One modern master, Mahananda Sarita, actually maps it out in 5 stages. It starts with initiation, those first little signs and wake-up calls. Then comes purification, and this is often the hardest part, where you're just shedding all that old emotional baggage. After that is illumination, when real insight and clarity start to flood in. Then you have to integrate it all so this new awareness becomes stable. And finally, embodiment, where you're just living your everyday life from this totally new, awakened perspective.
But what does that final state, that union, actually feel like? I mean, words are pretty much useless here, but Yogananda's own description of his experience of samadhi, or enlightenment, gets us as close as we can get. He said he just dissolved. He wasn't a body anymore, but this expanding sphere of light. The universe became his body. He was everywhere at once, completely beyond time, beyond space, beyond any sense of a separate self. That's the goal. And so, we end right back where we started, with a question for you. The wisdom from these sources suggests that this incredible potential isn't something you have to go out and find. It's not something you have to earn. It's been right here, inside you, this whole time, just waiting. The only thing it's waiting for is for you to be ready to turn your attention inward.